Hello and welcome back to Gaming Abridged, a video series where I play through games with live commentary and then condense it down to the essentials. My name is WW Dadman, but you already know that, and today we are finishing off the Metro series with the latest installment, Metro Exodus. Now, unlike the first two games, there is only one playthrough I'm using for this video, and that's gonna be the norm for this series. In the future, it's just that the first two games had Redux versions that I had also played, so I just wanted to have both playthroughs in those videos. Now, the Let's Play series of this never got finished, cause I got tired of the Let's Play concept for games like this, and also the game took way too long. This means this is the first video in the series to actually have footage recorded solely for the purpose of using it in this series. Either way, let's dive into it. As with the predecessors, we start off with a cutscene with Artjom talking over it. This time he talks about how humanity used to live on the surface. Similarly to Last Light, we see scenes from the day the bombs dropped. He also talks about life in the metro and how he wants to find a way to return to the surface and to contact other people outside of Moscow. The next scene is Artjom climbing down a manhole into the canalization and we gain control. We make our way through the very linear path and get attacked by a watchman along the way. Obviously, with us shooting that one, more come afterwards. Nicely enough, we find some more shotgun shells nearby, cause for some reason we apparently thought going to the tunnel with only 2 shots is gonna be fine. We hardly make it out the door, but still get attacked by watchmen on the other side. Our guys find us there and get us back to treat our wounds. We then wake up to Anna sitting by our bed, who then proceeds to try to talk Artjom out of keeping on going up to find other people. Miller comes in with his 2 prosthetic legs and also rages at us for keeping on trying to contact other people. The doctor comes by and unfortunately has the same voice actor as Pavel from the last game. Those are some nice...
Artyom, we managed to bring you back from the brink, but...
You sound like fucking Pavel.
You keep bringing it back irradiated.
Then we leave the medical ward, watch Anna and Miller argue through a door window, get taken to party by the guys and Anna, and skip a week ahead. We're on top of a building with Anna trying to get radio contact again. She presses us to go home and we do. She also really wants me to change the gas mask filter, even though according to my watch, I still have over a minute worth left of it.
Took our time. Time to replace our filters. Come on, replace your filter. Haven't you?
Why would I? I've got a minute 40. I've got a minute 40 on my filter.
Let's get moving.
Why would I?
He'll kill me if he finds out I went out with you. Twice.
On the way home, we get to shoot some more watchmen, get into a blizzard, and see a train on the surface, which is weird. Then we see guys who we presume are from the Order pulling up across a bridge, and we enter the vehicle only to get knocked out. We wake up and Anna tells us that the people are from Hansa. 2 other passengers ask what the hell is going on in this Moscow of ours, as if they're not from here. They tell us they're from a village around 200 kilometers outside of Moscow and that there are a multitude of little villages around. This is obviously news for us. The car stops and the Hansa soldiers tell the 2 others to get out somewhere in the middle of nowhere. They obviously want to execute them and shoot us as we try to intervene. They also kill the 2 people from out of town and throw them after us into the hole we fell in. They do keep Anna though. We rip a gas mask off a conveniently placed corpse near us and follow the empty river that we fell into that conveniently leads to the train's destination. We climb into a sewer pipe and sneak into the station that way. We see a guy being detained in the room we come out in for questioning the way they just unceremoniously shoot people. The guy's name is Yermak, and we enter the room and team up with him to free Anna, who is being held hostage. We sneak through the station in the shadows along with Yermak, knocking out a few people along the way. Reminds me a lot of the prison level in Last Light. We find Anna and free her, knocking 2 more people out in the process. Also, apparently, the bullet from earlier got stopped by the dog tag Hunter gave us all the way back in 2033, which we still carry on us at all times. This is honestly bullshit, cause such a thin metal could never stop a bullet from point blank range, but either way. We get one of the guys to explain to us that the station is basically a control station for a broadband radio jammer that makes it impossible for anyone in Moscow to radio out or vice versa. Those shots that hit the equipment made it shut down though, and we hear radio signals from all around the world coming in. Apparently the war that caused Moscow to become a nuclear wasteland is still going on, and nobody told the people in the metro about it. Yermak comes by and helps us to flee the control room, and then we have to sneak over the yard outside without drawing attention so we don't get killed. We take the Dishonored style approach for climbing along some pipes and vents on the wall to get to the other side, and enter the area where they keep the train. At one point somebody's flashlight shines through a stone pillar, but other than that, we take out the entire station and meet up with Yermak, who gives us a way out. We walk up some stairs and Anna exhibits NPC syndrome. Good. People still have NPC syndrome in this game. Still. More guards flood in from the way we're headed, so we take them out, and eventually we fall through the floor into a raging fire. Suddenly, I have Metro Last Light flashbacks. We then hijack the train and try to leave. They throw a flashbang in, and apparently that took all three of us out long enough for the guards to get into the train and put us on the ground. Miller and the Rangers come in and get us back up. Apparently the soldiers are also under the command of Miller. Miller tells the Order Rangers to get the Hansa people off the train and to take the train out of town, since we apparently would need to be killed otherwise, for the war crime of not being told that those jammers exist and therefore getting caught up in this. On the way, Hansa catches up to us in a second train and starts to shoot. We then trick them into thinking we're surrendering and infiltrate the train from the back to place C4 into their burner. We place the C4 and jump back on our own train, then we detonate the bomb and keep going. The next loading screen tells us that after stopping about 100 kilometers from Moscow, the radiation levels were in the green. The next cutscene is Miller finally telling us that the war never ended. Most of the country is probably under enemy occupation, and to avoid more nuclear attacks, they decided to play it dead, building up the SHIELD system, a network of radio towers around Moscow to ensure radio silence. We're then tasked with finding a radio transmission from the Ark, as we're out of jamming distance by now. We find the transmission and get coordinates for a rally point, and Miller explains that the Ark is the Commander General's HQ, with all the country's leaders being there in an underground city. Apparently, they also wouldn't know that Moscow still has people for some reason, cause Miller wants to tell them. This story makes less and less sense, really. We also named the train Aurora. On the way to the government bunker in the Ural mountain range, we run into a roadblock on a bridge across the river Volga. So for the first time in the series, we go outside on a surface mission without having to wear a gas mask. We set out with Anna to scout out the nearby village. Anna sets herself up in a sniper nest, while we take a boat to a church, which seems to be the hideout of the people living there. Getting near, Anna tells us none of the people seem to be armed, so we should try an open approach.
Looks like you've been spotted. Artjom, there's a woman on that bell tower waving a rag or something. Please investigate. I see people at the church. None seem to be armed. We'd better try the open approach. Let's not fire first, okay?
Okay, I'll fire second. Coming closer, we realize it's a cult that damns technology as a sin.
Has already started his sermon. Just enter the temple and see the light of truth. We are a peaceful lot, so please keep your weapons sheathed. And welcome.
Okay. Electricity is a sin. Hold F to charge your flashlight. I'm not. I'm going to turn this off. They call us a heretic, trap our boat, we save a woman and her kid who have been locked up there for a year, and we end up shooting most of them cause they had it coming, don't at me. Then the rest surrenders. We leave and go back to the train, getting attacked by a shrimp and some weird fish on the way. Hi, shrimp. Anyone want some? Because then come get some. Fuck you. That seemed bigger. Report to Miller and get sent out on a mission to find a man named Crest and get him to join us. We got the information about him from the woman we rescued. We get the air pressure gun from the previous games, which we can make the ammo for on the fly and set off. We take the boat again cause there's 7.8 out of 10 too much water around here, get shrimped again, and we take out a few people at a watchtower of sorts. We also get eaten by the weird fish once. The fuck? So this is where we find some humanoid mutants around here, which the game calls humanimals. They're gross, muddy, and I don't like them. Since there's a lot of them, I decide running might be the better idea here. Ah! Suddenly I have Outlast flashbacks. In the end we find Crest, he shows us the area and gives us a bunch of material and agrees to come to the train with us. We then zipline from his tower to a nearby building. We hear over radio that Anna went missing while checking out something. We go to investigate and then this happens. How the hell did I even fall in there? Anyway, Anna also fell down, so we rescue her and go back to the train. We discuss what to do about the woman and her daughter that we rescued and decide we need to get an extra carriage for the Aurora to have enough beds and room to live. Crest tells us he has a cart hidden in the terminal which can get the carriage to the Aurora, so we set out to get it. Along the way to the terminal, we dodge some watchmen and anomalies, and sleep in an outpost so we don't run around at night so much. Not that that would make it safer, as we get hunted by demons and lurkers. Anyway, at the terminal, we encountered a ton of humanimals and almost get eaten by another giant sour fish. Instead, it eats a few humanimals. We then find what seems to be the fish's dinner bell. Oh. And the card that we were searching for. We take the card outside and take out a small demon on the way back. On the way we also run into a bandit camp and have to fight our way through. Unfortunately at this time the game kept crashing for me for no reason, so it took me a while to actually get back to it to do this video. You can go watch the Let's Play parts that are still up to get the full extent of the issues I had here. Eventually, we get the train through that camp though. Back at the Aurora, Miller tells us to get the bridge lowered so we can cross, and so we set out again. We find Anna at the area where we have to take out some more cultists to get to our objective. We shoot our way in and get on the boat so we can take it to the bridge control station. We invade the station and lower the bridge. We then do the cliche Hollywood jump on top of a moving train thing and keep going. We arrive at Yamantau Bunker, where the Ark is supposedly set. Upon getting in, surprise, they're actually cannibals, who want to eat us. We get rescued by the rest of our people and take out the entire station, cause fuck that shit. While doing so, we encounter a dude in heavy armor with a machine gun, and holy crap, without the tons of cover, I would have had a problem taking this dude down. Then we find Anna, who is being held hostage by the local crazy doctor, and get piped to the face, before Anna knives him. We then get our train and leave again. Miller then has a mental breakdown over there literally not being a government here after all. We decide to go on outwards to find out the state of the world and find other people and arrive in a desert. There's even a cliche tumbleweeds here. Why do you burn? There are also humanimals around here, even if they are more dried out than the ones from the swampy areas earlier. In the middle of a dust storm, we try stealing a car and end up getting the key for it. It sure doesn't look like it should work, but it does. We also get to actually drive it. We also save somebody named Yule from the people we just stole the car from. She tags along with us to lead us to an underground bunker that apparently stores old documents. Of course, there are spider mutants down here. After playing with those for a bit, we find the documents and return. Then we take the car to an outpost where Anna is and take over the crane at the dock, and on the way back find some really well done programming. That is floating in midair. So are these. Why do I have the feeling I'm not supposed to be here? Anna? Why is everything floating? My god, this game is broken. We then go on another outpost that we invade and end up with another armored machine gun dude, cause that equipment is obviously universally available across the entire continent. At this point, I stopped the Let's Play cause I didn't feel like commentating over 700 resets of me trying to get past that dude. Somehow every Metro game has one of those moments where I just go, fuck that shit, I don't want to do this boss battle. Anyway, this is where I decided to start the series if anyone is curious. So after a lot of attempts, and I mean a ton, I take out the last guy running around apart from the armored guy through a window, and then process to burn the armored guy a bit before finishing him with bullets. I legit have no idea how this entire place helped me in any way, cause I don't seem to pick anything important up or anything. So maybe this was also just a huge waste of time, but either way, we run back to the Aurora since our car was standing around somewhere else. We talk to Miller and he tells us that the local bandits and their so-called baron have water that we need to go steal, since the trade offers aren't acceptable. We get our gear in order and go find our car, cause we need to go all the way across the entire map. The bandits surprise us at the bridge ruins, but we take them out. In a sandstorm, we get close to the bandits' outpost, play with a few local creatures, find out about the burning geysers, and snipe the guys in the outpost. Then we go on to meet Damir, who will be our companion for this mission. We sneak in through a cave and kill all bandits while leaving their slave workers alive cause they didn't do anything wrong. While leaving with the water, Damir drops a few lines that make no sense.
Well, we finally lost them.
We finally lost them? There's literally nobody there anymore, we killed everybody.
Looks like they aren't giving chase.
There's nobody there to give chase! What the fuck are you talking about? Dude! And the next time we wake up, we're under attack and need to take out a few people. We then decide to also steal fuel for the Aurora. So we raid the Baron's fortress along with Yule and Damir, and he decides to invite Artjom up on his tower. The Baron's people along the way can be seen mistreating the slaves. Up on the Baron's floor, there's also topless women running around for entertainment. Of course, I cut around all of that for YouTube guideline reasons. I also managed to do that in Last Light, so why would I not be able to do that here? The Baron makes Artjom the offer of giving him the fuel if he gets fuel as an exchange. Obviously, we tell him to go fuck himself and fight another heavy machine gun dude. We also get stuck on invisible collision objects and die once. Ah! Get out of the fucking way, you stuck son of a bitch! Ah! In the end, Anna snipes the Baron, and Damir and Yule stay there to help out the slaves. Up next, we are back on the Aurora, and two of our companions get married while Anna starts dying.
Last order of business for today.
Are you about to die?
And Gorka! Gorka! Gorka!
Oh,
I had to say something, didn't I? We then plan to go to the valley we were headed for anyway to see if the air helps with Anna's condition, and to Novosibirsk if it doesn't, because there supposedly is a medicine that might help with Anna's lungs falling apart from the gas back from when we last rescued her. We set out to scout the valley with Alyosha.
This is one bumpy ride.
Excuse me?
We're all bent. The whole track seems to be fixing to slide down.
I think you just glitched me through the fucking roof!
Let's hail the Aurora and tell them to take the...
And get thrown off the tracks. We get rescued by a local and our equipment kinda got dragged away by the river. So that sucks. We find a crossbow, so we use that to rescue a guy that was left as dog food for the wolves. Also, the fauna here seems pretty normal considering. I had to say something, didn't I? We sneak through the forest, trying to avoid the wolves as good as possible, and take out the local bandits, cause they would otherwise take us out. In the end, they surrender, so that's good for them. Further onwards, their friends had set a trap though, so we get trapped, and they get mauled by Mama Bear 2.0. We go on to sneak through the village, without killing anyone, cause we literally don't have the weapons for it, and end up at another settlement. Then we try to also get through undetected, but one idiot sees us through a fence, so we start depopulating that area. Now that we can just take the weapons of the people there. In the end, we entered this area and try to get past this gate, but that is when Mama Bear 2.0 decides she needs to fight us. So we Molotov the thing and make it run away eventually. Olga, the local that originally rescued us, helps us out with some directions, and we go take out all the people around this dock area, cause I can't be asked to do another stealth mission right now. We take a boat and end up at this irradiated area. Now, this almost managed to make me rage quit again. I did not have anywhere near enough filters for this part, and my materials were also not enough to still craft any. Nor was there anything left around the area that I could have looted, nor did I have anything I could dismantle to get the materials for the filters. So I died by suffocation a bunch of times, trying to speedrun around the building to start a generator, get back in to flip the switches, and then get to the elevator to the upper level. That upper level had breathable air. I was literally about to suffocate again when I finally arrived upstairs. There we had some tea with a bunch of locals and went on to the other side of a zip line to enter a cafe. To enter a cafe? Did that autocorrect? I'm pretty sure I fucking spelled cave correctly. Holy shit. I'll leave that one in just because, holy shit. I'm sure I spelled cave. Anyway, we zipline to the other side and enter a cave that apparently had ghosts cause my lamp died halfway through. But there were spiders that I'd need light to defend myself against, so this wasn't exactly the greatest game design at work either. Of course you'd fucking do the fucking ghost thing where there's absolutely no light and the fucking spider assholes in one fucking place, cause good game design! Oh yeah, also, those things spit acid now, cause that's definitely what they needed. In the end, I finally find Alyosha, and he tells me that the dam next to the valley is holding back radioactive sludge and water, and it isn't exactly going to hold much longer. This area is basically anything but safe. He also tells me he also met Olga, and apparently, cause the authors of Metro games have no idea how relationships work, the two fell totally in love. Rain sets in and we break an old bridge when we try to cross it and get attacked by the bear again. And we have to fight it again. Reusing boss fights is fucking stupid! Eventually, apparently cause I happen to stand in the right trigger area or something, the bear falls off the cliff and we zipline back to the Aurora. We head over the dam and leave the valley. Anna also did not get better, but worse. So we head off towards Novosibirsk. So on the way there, we realized that city must be in a worse state than Moscow was, cause a full 500 kilometers before we arrive, we already have radiation levels outside as high as back in Moscow. So Miller and Artjom get heavy lead gear to at least have any chance, and we set off to get the medicine for Anna, while the rest of the order scouts out the outer areas of the city that are still more manageable than the center we were going for. We drive a good bit into Novosibirsk before hitting a roadblock. Miller does some Houdini shit.
We'll have to walk from here. And we'll have to be quick. The radiation's rising.
Excuse me?
Last block.
Miller? Don't just despawn, open the friggin' door with a ghostly hand and then respawn outside, like, what the fuck? Game? And we find the entrance to the Novosibirsk metro. And nicely enough, the metro here is pretty much as radiation safe as back in Moscow. It also has its own variations of Nosalis and lurkers that we have to fight through on the way. We do not have exactly a lot of ammo for this. Against all odds, we find a boy in the otherwise very much abandoned metro. We tell him that we came all the way from Moscow and he helps us out with anti-rad, or green stuff, the medicine that helps with radiation poisoning, that this metro was using as a currency, much like military-grade rounds were used like that back in Moscow. He also tells us that there is a SATCOM center that probably has radiation maps that we will need. So Miller goes there while Artjom takes to the institute that has the medicine for Anna. So we find our way through a bunch more mutants in the tunnels and get to a flooded area with a boat. In this area there is some new stuff that I could have totally done without. Giant leeches that cling to the wall and spit acid, as well as even bigger worms in the water that try to kill us multiple times throughout this area. We make our way through against all odds and end up in this area. I mean, it sure looks a lot like the lights we usually saw during Dark One encounters in the previous games. We also almost die of radiation poisoning and hallucinate Anna. We drag ourselves up and over the surface with radiation levels beyond the scale of our Geiger counter, and seem to be following something that resembles a librarian, while also constantly being in a searchlight from what we can only assume is either a hallucination or the Dark Ones helping us out. Then this happens. Librarian. Please tell me I don't need to do anything here. I am amazed I killed that one, but that's not the only one here. Just like with the librarians back in the Moscow library. Unlike the librarians though, the blind ones here only react to smell and sound, instead of having a very badly programmed stare-down mechanic. We are totally out of anything useful in terms of weapons, so we are basically playing a survival horror game right now. So we sneak through all the way to the room with the medication, take a suitcase of the stuff, and get chased out by a blind one, who then gets impaled falling off the building and catches some icicles with his face. We then pass out in the incredibly high radiation. Miller drives the car up to us after we wake back up. He is basically almost dead himself, and we go back towards the Aurora. We go unconscious again and wake up to the kid from the metro wanting us to drive cause Miller tried to teach him but died before we could get back. We also end up passing out again while driving back. In the end, we deliver the medicine and Anna recovers. We also get treated for the radiation poisoning by blood transfusion from the other people on the Aurora. I have no idea how medically accurate that treatment is, but apparently we don't make it, as in the end we see the final cutscene of Anna standing in front of the graves of both Miller and Artjom at Lake Baikal. Now obviously this is the bad ending again, cause the Metro games are notorious for making the so-called good ending stupidly impractical to get. Now, the only difference in the finale on the good ending is that we somehow managed to not die and get to stand at Miller's grave together with Anna instead. It makes absolutely no fucking sense how the so-called good and bad actions that give or take karma points along the way would somehow make the blood transfusions actually help. There is no logic behind this, and I sure as hell hope this is the final Metro game, cause holy shit, did they not do a very good job on this one. In the end, I'm just glad it's over, and I can go play something else now. This was easily the worst game in the trilogy, both gameplay and story-wise. Either way, I will see you for the medium in the next video of these, as you guys voted for that when I posted a community poll. So leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe and ring the bell to never miss an upload, and make sure to check out the other content on my channel. My name is WWDadman, and I will see you next time on Gaming Abridged.